This episode of New Jersey Living is being recorded in North Arlington, New Jersey. So if you have seen my episodes on Kearny and Lyndhurst, North Arlington is tucked directly in between. North of us is Lyndhurst, south of us is Kearny. You should recognize this scene a little bit if you've seen the Lyndhurst episode, because we are very much in the Forte Park, but we're in the North Arlington section now, right by the opening, as you can see, Sawmill Creek Trail. All right, so this area is a continuation of trails from back at the park. That's in the Lyndhurst section of the park. But again, a lot of marsh and meadowlands to take in. Trails here, it does note they do flood when we have high tide, and certainly when there are severe storms. We don't get many that are coming in from the ocean, but in episodes like we had a little over 10 years ago with Sandy, this entire area was flooded at that point in time. All right, so this is very much right at sea level just about. So you can imagine that if there's any event that causes flooding from a standpoint of coastal flooding, it's certainly going to have an impact on areas like this. But very, very nice walking trail. All right, if you want to take in some nature and see something a little different from just your normal neighborhood walks or bike rides, or maybe that park that you always do, maybe you want to come out to North Arlington and even sample some of the Lyndhurst section as well. There is some fishing that can take place here as well, but the trails will spell out as to what sections are allowable for fishing and which ones are not. So the ones that are usually closer to land and not further out are not, fishing was not permissible in those sections. So this is, again, one of those tucked away areas, just like I mentioned in Lyndhurst, that a lot of people may not frequent or come out to visit that often, but it is, as you can tell right now as I pan around a little bit, I'm like the only soul out here right now, albeit it is one of the extreme heat days of summer right now in July. So that may spell some of it too. So we're going to take a dive into North Arlington. They're very similar to Lyndhurst in terms of the general dynamics of the community. We're going to jump into Big Three shortly in the next segment, and you'll hear some of the feedback on North Arlington with regard to the Big Three. So once we dive into the neighborhood, see some homes, you'll get a better feel of some of those comparisons that I'm making right now between Lyndhurst and even Kearny to a large degree. All right, so we're going to take in just a little bit of walking footage here for a portion of the trail, and I'll see you at the next spot where we'll jump into our general intro information. I'll see you there. Welcome to New Jersey Living. My name is Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent with Coldwell Banker and team leader of the New Jersey Living Group. I want to welcome everyone to the channel, and my job, as always, is to bring content like this to viewers like you. So if you are looking to learn all things New Jersey, of course, the real estate market, the social entertainment scene, dining, iconic locations, then this is the channel for you. Go ahead and click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to stay tuned to New Jersey Living. Our goal, bring 5-star content that reflects our 5-star ratings from our past clients, and bring that same quality to this channel to provide insights on living in New Jersey, the real estate market, renting here, buying here, and selling here. So today, as I mentioned, we are in North Arlington, and we are in a section of a park that was not far from, I'm talking literally a half mile away from, another neighboring town, which we featured the same park because part of it is in North Arlington, the other part is in Lyndhurst. So where I am right now is just a few yards away from the entrance of the Sawmill Creek walking trail. So we are at a Veterans Memorial right here. I'm going to pan up some so you can see the memorial, pan side to side as well. And behind us now is, again, New York skyline and portions of the New Jersey Turnpike. So we're going to jump right into our big three. And again, those who have been with us, you know what it's all about. If you are new, what we feature is the three factors that drive demand in the northern New Jersey real estate market. That being, one, proximity to Manhattan. It's behind us, no more than 6 miles away. All right, so a very convenient commute of about 20 minutes with no traffic to get to the Midtown Tunnel. So check for proximity. We're right neighboring to Manhattan. The second item is train station. For North Arlington, it would be a no. There's not a train in North Arlington. Neighboring Lyndhurst, yes there is, but not in North Arlington, so that is going to get an X, not a check. And the final factor is would be school ratings. So school ratings, just like Lyndhurst, neighboring town, niche rating of B, and I reserve a check mark for A plus, A, or A minus. So it's not going to get a check mark there either. So it's going to get only 1 out of 3. However, it's very comparable to its neighboring towns in terms of the real estate market and demand. So that not having that train station doesn't weigh as heavily. Really, this is about proximity to the city and affordable, still quality neighborhoods right here in this location. So don't think necessarily that 2 out of 3 means a location that is not a very good place to buy a home, because I would say it is. You'll see some of the neighborhood footage for yourself coming up shortly. So once we dive into a little closer look into some of these homes, you're going to see that consistently 400, 500, 600 is the bulk of the market here. And there are definitely very quality homes that you can attain for that price. Historically, similar to the neighboring towns of Kearny and for Lyndhurst. Historically, some of that middle and working class community, not a ton of high-end inventory, but the floor, meaning that low end of the market, there's not a lot of that either in terms of like really low end, more distressed areas where you're having super low depressed housing prices. You're not going to generally find that in close proximity to Manhattan anyway, but you're not going to find that in this particular location. So it's a solid market from that standpoint, in that it does not have a low floor, just not a super high ceiling when it comes to prices. So we're going to get this started now, and once we get into our tours of each home, we're going to filter in some neighborhood footage in between. All right, so let's get this journey started. I'll see you at the first stop. So here we are at our first stop in North Arlington. So we're at 141 Belmont Ave, very much on the western section, because right down the road we have the Hackensack River separating us from Nutley Belleville area. All right, and we're going to essentially make our way more east towards the middle of town as we go a little further. But this one property featured 5 bedrooms and 2 baths. Does have driveway parking right there, as you can see, and a detached garage in the back. Not a lot of upgrade here per se, which is reflective of what you see with the price point. And I'm gonna take a quick blink just to jump into that number and get right back to you. Blink and I'm back. That was a list price of $450 and a sale price of $485, and it's on the market a bit of an extended time. I believe 52 days altogether. So there could have been other dynamics at play, because most properties that we see are moving a lot faster. But keep in mind, this was not a property, just again, giving a little bit of a profile so you can see that this is not one of those scenarios where we have a newly renovation or recent upgrades. That number of bedrooms and bath ratio, you could expect to go higher unless there's still some work to be done. But sub 500 for this type of proximity. I'm gonna pan around in the neighborhood a little bit so you see the surrounding nice wide street that is here. You're talking about your upside value when you are not looking at a property that does not have all those upgrades that you maybe want. I know the sweat equity thing is something that's not preferred by a lot of new homeowners. They want that turnkey, but those that are willing to put a little love in, it goes a long way in terms of how you have to compete against other buyers in the market, and as well as the upside of your equity, right, that you're going to appreciate in terms of market value over time from what you put in versus paying a premium of what someone else put in. So this is stop number 1. I'll see you the next stop. Enjoy some of the road footage. See you there. Our second stop, we're at 15 Devon Street. And this is an example of your new renovation, right? So this one is a fully renovated 3-bed, bath and a half. Pan up just a little. All right, kind of, I mean, it's truly a colonial that is a 2-story, but as you can see, as I pan around a little bit, just so you can see the other colonials in the neighborhood on this block, they're, smaller, so the lot sizes aren't necessarily huge. It's somewhat of a narrow footprint, but again, totally renovated, pretty much listed and sold at $525. I think they certainly priced it on the higher end given the size and square footage, and that it's a bath and a half, not a full 2 baths, for the North Arlington market. So that $525, and you don't see this huge jump above list price, is because I think they priced it intentionally on the higher end. So this is something that somebody, again, is moving into turnkey, not doing anything. Everything is pretty much done for you. On, again, a block, as I pan around one more time, you're going to see that, most of the properties are pretty much similar in layout, which is common in your which I would speculate this is probably pre-war kind of construction, 1930s, early 40s, most likely. So the general area of North Arlington with the other towns that we have seen prior to this episode, like a Kearny, like a Nutley, like a Lyndhurst, all of them are established communities dating well back even before World War II. So you would have had, populations right here because we're just outside of Manhattan. All right, so this is stop number 2, and take in some more road footage, and I'll see you at the next stop. We've arrived at 34 Morgan Place. This is our third stop here in North Arlington. And for this property, and come over here, pan up just a little, make sure you can get that full profile. The exterior really tells the story. This is described as a recently updated. I mean, this was fully renovated, not brand new renovation, but recent, very recent. The interior photos, you can always hop on maybe Zillow or Compass.com, one of those sites. You can get some interior looks at property. This one had a modern open layout. The kitchen's redone, finished basement, bathrooms redone. You can tell the exterior here, everything is pretty much updated and contemporary. The surrounding area, you see a mix of both single and multifamily homes. I had a colleague that I helped with selling a house just down the block that was not renovated, but again, it's you find a very diverse array of home styles here. So in this one, somebody obviously took on the task at some point of fully upgrading, then sold. And this one listed at $625, sold at $640, basically 2 weeks on market. So they had an immediate list of offers, I'm sure, where the seller probably had their choice of what offer was going to work best for their purposes. So this is reflecting that. On this given episode for the month that I looked up would represent the higher end of North Arlington. North Arlington certainly can go higher than your mid 600, but similar to the neighboring towns of both Kearny and Lyndhurst, there's not extremely high ceiling, certainly not as high as what you'll see in neighboring towns when we get on the other side of the Passaic. So when we start looking at Nutley, and then not far from Nutley you have Bloomfield, you have Maplewood, South Orange, and West Orange and Montclair. So these are more Essex County and not Bergen, but this is that portion of Bergen that's very much surrounded by both Hudson County and some Essex County. All right, so you don't find that kind of high end as some of these other locations. Certainly not your Jersey City likewise, but there's a solid inventory of very, very quality homes and neighborhoods in that mid 400 all the way up to mid 600 for North Arlington and the two neighboring communities that I just mentioned with Kearny and Lyndhurst. All right, so we are going to have one more stop. I'm going to take in some more neighborhood footage in between, and I'll see you there. Here we conclude at 57 Fairmount Ave, our final viewing on the North Arlington tour. And this is an example of another upgrade special, but definitely at a budget price. Now consider the fact too, this is a 2-bedroom home, 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, marketed basically at $385, sold at $403, so still comfortably above ask. Upgrades done inside, again, not newly renovated, but just like we saw on Morgan, something that has been upgraded. You can even see some of that on the exterior. I'm gonna pan around and step into the street a little bit to pan, so you get a view at some of the other properties. You can see very similar styles in terms of layouts with some of the other properties that are here. Some no doubt have had some conversions. I'm looking next door, which probably was converted, but further down you see a bit more colonials. But this certainly is a very, very budget-friendly option depending on the needs of a buyer, or it's someone who just prefers not to be in a condo. Because consider this, where we are right now, a 2-bedroom condo easily goes for $400 and up. All right, so given where we are on the map in proximity to Manhattan. So if someone is opting for, all right, I prefer to have my own property for a 2-bedroom, this is absolutely a value buy. All right, so for those that are maybe on the fence with condo shopping, and you're thinking about maybe, hey, look, what are my single family options? Consider 2-bedroom single families, because obviously, as you see right here, North Arlington and like Lyndhurst is going to give you that kind of option, and even Kearny. All right, but that being said, I hope that you are able to get some insights from this particular episode. Please do, again, click like, subscribe, notification bell, stay updated on the content that we still have coming your way. If you are currently in process or considering a process of purchasing or selling, feel free to contact me or my team. We are right here. All of my contact information is right here on the details or the description below. So feel free to tap in. If you are a homeowner and just curious about what your current value is, know your value, whether you're looking to sell next year, 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Know your value at least once a year to get an update, to know where you stand, because it is an investment. Yes, it's your home, but it's also an investment. We do that courtesy, no charge. That's something that we do every day in our business, is to assess the market performance. All right, so feel free to reach out for that. Comments, again, drop comments in. If you want to drop a comment, keep it positive, but drop some comments in. We get comments of all sorts. Not everybody's looking to buy or sell necessarily, but live there or have lived there, or people who are out of state or out of country even, that reach out just to give some insights and some memories. So all this adds value to the experience of everyone who comes on to join the New Jersey Living family or just visit for a few previews. So we are here for you, and I want to thank you for your patronage, which watching the episodes and joining the family. For those even agents that are out there, feel free to reach out. Love to collaborate. The team is still growing, so if you're looking for an opportunity to really get involved and engage in real estate, and a team that is definitely aimed at and built to support business, feel free to reach out. So in the meantime, stay safe and stay tuned to New Jersey Living.